welcome to the Aaaannnd podcast. My name's Alex, I'm your host, and this is episode 6. Yeah! Before I get started, I'd like to share a big, warm welcome to all of my new viewers. Welcome back to all of my returning viewers, and a big hello to all my new subscribers. Yay! I am so happy that you're here, that you're joining in, that you're sharing the love, subscribing. It really means a lot. So thank you so much. First off, I want to share where you can find me. I am on Ravelry as Alex Handmade and on Instagram as great start. I am on Instagram as Handmade Hound. That is handmade_hound. And that is an Instagram account that's dedicated to all of my yarny, crafty adventures, and where I follow the bulk of, or I mostly follow other crafters. But yeah, welcome. For those of you just joining for the first time, this is a podcast about knitting, crochet, other crafty goodness. It's about music. I'll get into that though, because there's a little caveat for this episode. But it's also about just fun things in life in general. So whether you're new, returning, if you've subscribed, or if you haven't subscribed yet, welcome! Thanks for being here. So let's get started. And right now I'd like to start out with kind of the elephant in the room, that is this whole layout. For those of you who have watched back episodes, you'll notice that I am not at the usual kitchen table. And that is because in between episode 5 and episode, and really this episode, that is my parents and I have moved. My folks moved up north to Riverside County, if you're familiar with California, and I moved to Oceanside, and I'm now finally in my own apartment. Yeah! And I absolutely love it. It's been a long time coming. I've been in for just over a month, and it finally looks like home. My boyfriend helped with the move, and yes, I am, for those of you who know me but don't know just yet, I am in a relationship now. We've known each other since we met in May, and I love him dearly, but he helped me move, as well as my dad. My dad helped as well, and my mom was responsible for all the decor that you see and getting that set up. So just want to share a big public thank you to all of them. And real quick, might as well, I got a good picture of everything set up, so I want to just show you that real quick. And again, I absolutely love it. And I'm showing you the picture rather than going through a grand tour, because you can see what there is to see all in one shot. I mean, there's no sense walking around, but I mean, eventually I'll get around to that. We'll see. But let's get started with some of the usual stuff. I have a finished object from back in September, which other than 5.5, that's how long it's been since I've podcasted, since I've recorded. And then I have an almost finished object, an AFO, if you will. And I'll explain why I'm not classifying it as a whip. And then I do have one whip to show off. I actually have several whips, but you're not allowed to see them right now, because they're going to be gifts, and the recipients for those may or may not be watching. I'm not gonna tell you. I've said too much already. Let's begin. So first off, I don't know why I'm digging in my bag because my finished object is not even here. It's with my mom, and that's because I finished her socks. So here is a picture of that right now. And the yarn is by Alexandra's Crafts. I think she's now calling herself Alexandra the Art of Yarn, which I like both. And that was her Black Butte base, which is a blend of 60% superwash merino wool, 20% yak, and 20% silk. So a very luxurious blend of yarns. And it's the colorway is Kaleidoscope. Wow, it's been a while. I'm a little rusty, but if that's the worst, then we're doing fine. And for those interested in the construction, I use US size 1.5, so 2.5 millimeter needles. I do Judy's Magic Cast On, do toe up, and I start with 16 stitches at the toe per needle, so 32 stitches, work my way up to 64 stitches all around. I do Fish Lips Kiss Heel, which I absolutely love that. Although last full podcast, I got a suggestion for trying a garter stitch heel, which one of these days I'll try it. I'm always up for new techniques. I have like miles and miles of sock yarn, and there are a couple of patterns that I like that require different techniques. So that's one of the things that I want to do is try out those patterns, see what I think, see what works best, see how adaptable I am. See, that is my one finished object, my almost finished object. You guys got to see this on the mini episode. And again, like I said, I'll tell you why I'm not classifying it as a work in progress. But I have my organza top. Just gonna mess with the strap so you can see it in all of its glory. Let's see, where is it? I think it's absolutely adorable. It's a little crop style top, and it's blocked and everything. I just need to find the needles that I need for the underarms, which here we go. Yes, I just need to find the yarn that I need for the underarm, or the needles required for the underarms, which I had bought some ChiaoGoos especially for that purpose. And they were, I think, 2.25 millimeter needles, US size 1s, and they disappeared. They disappeared off the face of the planet once I finished this, or once I bound off the edge for this project. So I'm going to just scour the globe to hopefully find it. Once I do, I'm going to officially finish this project. But at this point, I'm not terribly concerned that I'm not finding it, because anymore it's too cold to wear something like that. So anyway, so that is why it's an almost finished object, because it's literally just finishing the edging and then stitching up the straps together. And that's all I need to do. That's it. But I can't do that one simple thing, or those two simple things really, until I find those dang needles, which I really like those Chow Goos. I haven't worked with that specific size of needles yet, but I do have a pair of Chow Goo circulars, and they're absolutely lovely to work with. But oh well. And then time to show off the whip, or actually, now that I think of it, I kind of have two whips, so excuse me for just a moment. Alrighty, found what I was looking for. So we'll start with the one that I was originally going to show in the first place. And granted, I only have the brim started, but I'm working on a hat. It is going to be the Lake Reed pattern by Aaaannnd Krebs. Oh, there goes. There we go. Wanted you guys to catch that in time. That was my new cuckoo clock that I got in Germany. Finally have it up, and it works absolutely beautifully. I love it. And it has a night shut-off function for when I go to sleep. So that way I don't have to wake up to the cuckoo clock. So the little birdie can have a break and catch some Z's as well. But anyway, this is the Lake Reed hat by Aaaannnd Krebs, and it is a free pattern on Ravelry. And I am doing this in Soft Yak DK, and it's a blend of cotton, yak. It's by Rowan, and oh my word, it is absolutely divine. Oh, it's so deliciously soft. And honestly, ever since I started the Bridget hat, I've been in a hat mood. I've realized that I can actually wear hats well. I didn't think I didn't used to, but anyway, but I digress. This is not for myself. This is actually going to be for one of my coworkers at work at the Humane Society. And you can look up the pattern on Ravelry to see a picture of it, or look up the designer. For those of you who aren't on Ravelry, just Google a picture of it. It's absolutely beautiful. It has a little bit of cable lacing. I can tell it's going to be a fun knit. I did have to modify it though, because it originally calls for a tubular cast on, which basically looks like the ribbing is folded over without any obvious beginning or end. But I did the old Norwegian cast on because that's what I was familiar with. And I was just kind of being lazy. But I can't wait to see how this is going to grow and how this is going to look, and I can't wait to give it to her once it's finished. And then the other one that I kind of thought of at the last second, it's going to be an ongoing work in progress, just because I'm basically taking scraps as I finish projects, and or scraps that I find from past projects, and working them into hexapuffs. So I'm making little hexapuffs. It's just a nice, simple little kind of mindless project for in between larger ones. And with this, I plan on making a quilt out of these. Now, since I'm not using the Beekeeper's quilt pattern, I just kind of figured out how to use Hexapuff. So I'm not calling it a beekeeper's quilt because I did not purchase the pattern, which one of these days when I can, when I can justify purchasing things for myself, I will, well, that wasn't really the right way to put that. But anyway, I digress. When I feel like I can purchase knitting patterns, I'll eventually buy the pattern itself, just so I can say, hey, I bought the pattern. I can call it by the pattern name. But since it's one that's, you know, I feel like I shouldn't be calling it a beekeeper quilt, even though that's essentially what it is, because I didn't use that specific pattern. Wow, that just got really rambly. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a while. And for right now, I'm just keeping that in my Casey's Projects to Go bag, which is right now housing a whole bunch of other stuff. Both yarn related and otherwise. Sadly, my missing needles aren't in there. Oh well. And then that is what I have for active projects, finished projects, projects that are in hibernation until summertime. That's what I have. I do have some acquisitions, so if that is not your thing, then feel free to fast forward to the next segment, which will be just a little bit more live chatter, other podcasty things that I started episodes prior. But if you would like to stick around, because I have some yarny things and some non-yarny things that I want to show. But if that is your thing, then come on in, gather around. So the first few things I got last weekend, and these are more or less kind of adding to making sure that I have enough for a project. So one of the projects that I have in my Ravelry queue and I have the yarn for is the Hintermost cardigan by Bristol Ivy. That one is a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I will be purchasing it once I'm finished with Christmas knitting. Because yes, I'm recording this on November 30th, 9 p.m. Yeah, 9-ish p.m. And I still need to work on that. But anyway, so last weekend, my local yarn shop, Yarning for You, is having their pre-Black Friday sale. And I got some yarn to supplement what I needed for Hintermost. So one of them is Scout by Kelborn Woolens. And this is one that I already had lined up. The colorway is Blue Heather. And lucky me, they still had the dye lot. So, woohoo! But then the other yarn that I'm using, just to show you guys, this is Hearthside Fibers in the Extravagant Space. It is a DK as well. Both of these are DK. But this is a yarn. This is one of two skeins. This is a yarn that was gifted to me by my aunt Claire. She lives in Seattle. The last time I visited her, she took me yarn shopping, which I love her all the more for. I mean, I love all my aunts, all my family, but it's just that one special thing that. But anyway, so that one was going to be a little bit harder to find something to match. And the reason I was looking to begin with was I was going through my stash, making sure I had the yardages that I thought I did, and I was rereading the pattern, well, not the pattern because I haven't purchased it yet, but I was looking over the specifications and I realized, oh crap, I do not have the yardage that I need. So like I said, the blue heather, which it's not really picking up here a little bit, but oh my gosh, the heathering is just absolutely beautiful. It's got a kind of purpley, tealish, it's just so pretty. But the green was going to be harder to replicate. And so what I decided on was I'm just going to go with a different color. So I went with the meadow heather. And again, absolutely beautiful. And I think what I'll do is, I was originally going to have this as the main body and this as the bottom part of the color work. So I'm considering flipping that, because I think that'll go with a little bit more anyway if I flip that to have this be the body. But I don't know. I was thinking I could do that and have this be like the trim, the ribbing along the bottom and on the button placket. Or I could, you know, have it the way I originally planned it, with the green as being, you know, the body of the cardigan from the shoulders to where the color work starts for the blue, and then kind of incorporating this as maybe color work on the band, along the arm or the sleeves. But there's a plan in place. Apparently there seem to be several plans in place. It's just going to be a matter of determining which one I want to take. So those are a couple of things that I got last week. Last week I also got this. It's coming out a little bit more golden, more of a golden green. Actually, it is kind of true to color. I don't know. It went on tonight. My monitor went on to night shift, so I can't really tell. But, oh, it's so pretty. And this is by Mary Gavin. And did I misplace I think I misplaced the yarn label. But this is a DK base that she has. The base, I believe, is called Hoodoo. And I'm going to see what I remember from the ball band. But a hoodoo is basically a pillar formed by sedimentary rock. And the top is at the very top is a type of rock that is very, very hard to weather down. So the example that she gives are the columns in, like, if you think of Utah, trying to think of the national park, that specific national park, but you know, if you think of like the Utah landscape, you know, you've got the arches and those big columns, so that those big columns are what a hoodoo is. So she named the base after that, and the colorway is called Tarragon. And I got this for my boyfriend. For those of you who know me and have not quite caught up, I am in a relationship. And we met in May 4th. We were set up by our parents, which is actually kind of a cute story in a way. But I got this to eventually make a beanie for him. I don't know if it's gonna make it. I'm not sure if it's gonna make it in time for Christmas, but this will be for him. And I saw the color and it was just this hallelujah light bulb moment, like where the hallelujah, where not the hallelujah chorus, but like the ah, and the beams of light come down. That's the kind of moment that I had when I saw this yarn, because oh my gosh, it is just the dreamiest color, but it's unisex enough to make a hat for him. And he's a military guy. He's in the Army National Guard. And I just thought it was such a good color. It's not, I mean, it's masculine enough to make something for a guy, but it's just such a beautiful color that it caught my eye. I almost got something else for him so I could keep this for myself, but there will be scraps left over, so I'll be able to have a little something for myself with that. And then the next yarny thing is I got myself an advent calendar. Woohoo! Yeah! I am so excited, and this is kind of my motivation to do a Vlogmas this year. And the calendar that I got is this one by Forbidden Fiber Company, and it is their Christmas movie edition. You can open it up so you can see the inside, see all the pretty boxes. Ta-da! So tomorrow I will record a separate Vlogmas show, and this will probably be posted tomorrow as well. But I'll start Vlogmas and I'll get to open box 1. Yay! So to read the little message from the folks at Forbidden Fiber Company, I do it this way. So it reads, Merry Christmas! It's that time of year again. Joy and wonder surround us as we count down to Christmas 2019. Christmas represents so many different things to many people. For our family, tradition is very important. Not only to celebrate past traditions, but also to create new ones. Clearly, I need my glasses. For us, like so many of you, movies are a part of our Christmas traditions. A Christmas Story marathons, Home Alone laughs, and dusting off old copies of It's a Wonderful Life and White Christmas. Everyone has one favorite Christmas film that gives us a little piece of our holiday spirit. Thank you for including the Forbidden Fiber Company Advent Calendar in your holiday traditions this year. This collection was curated with some of our favorite traditions and films in mind. Each day will present a unique colorway inspired by a favorite Christmas film, or a gift that reminds us of the holiday season. As always, I love to share my inspirations, so included with each colorway will be an inspiration card with movie info and fun facts. Some are classic movies, some more current, and hopefully some that you have not seen, but will be inspired to do so while knitting or crocheting along. For fun, read the yarn name to see if you know the movie. For the mystery knit along, you will need a size US 6 circular needle, at least 24 inches long, and a sense of adventure. I love the way this pattern came out, and hopefully you do too. The designer, Afifa, will be hosting a knit along in our Facebook group, Forbidden Fiber Company, so please join in if you would like. I'm definitely going to be there knitting along with all of you. Also, please use the hashtag FFC Advent MKAL 2019 so that we can see each other's progress on social media. May all your wishes come true. Yay! So I will be doing that. I also have another advent calendar that my friend Jessie, our Army Wife Knitting Life on Ravelry, or sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so used to saying that. She's Army Wife Knit Life on Ravelry, Army Wife Knitting Life on Instagram, and she is the Two Sticks and Strings podcast here on YouTube. But anyway, so where I was going with this was I will also be, not only will I be doing this advent calendar, but last year for Christmas, she gave me an advent calendar tea pack from Germany. So I will be doing that. I will admit that I had one of them earlier this year. But I only had the one tea bag, the first one. So I will be replacing that with something else. So anyway, that's what I have for Yarny acquisitions. I do have a couple of non-yarny things. One of them is still fiber related, crafting related. The other is not, but I'm so excited to show you anyway. But we'll start with the crafty related thing. Now, since I've been getting accustomed to apartment living, I've taken my shopping to less expensive places like Aldi, grocery outlet. Sometimes, depending on what I need, I still go to my beloved Trader Joe's. But anyway, so one thing that I found at Aldi that I got today on my way home from visiting my parents is this mini sewing machine. And it was $15, which sounds a little too good to be true, but for what it is and for the price, might as well try it out. I mean, I have my sewing kit here, but no sewing machine. How sad is that? And I have something that I want to make. So there you have it. And as far as, apartment living, I did have a prepaid card when my mom and I got our new phones. It was part of a rebate package. So this was one of the things that I used it on. And I also got some extra little supplies to go with it, just in case I was missing anything. It has some extra sewing machine needles. It has other kinds of hand sewing needles. All kinds of cool stuff. But if you want to see it out of the box, as do I. So it comes with two pre-threaded bobbins, or it comes pre-threaded with 2 white threaded bobbins and 1 needle. So that's pretty nice. It includes a needle threader, and 3 additional needles, 4 threaded bobbins, 1 black, 1 white, 1 red, 1 blue. You can use it with or without the foot pedal. You can use batteries, which are included, or a wall outlet, which that's what I'm used to using. So I'll probably go with that. It has 2 speed settings, high and low, and it has a built-in light and thread cutter. So it sounds pretty basic, pretty, I think cheap is too strong a word, but it sounds like one of those you get what you pay for things. But I mean, for what I for what I use it and my skill level, I think I should do okay. And it's so tiny, it's so cute. It looks like the makers have something going on it. I think they all pretty much come like that, I guess. But we've got the bobbins. It's nice that they thread the bobbin for you, because that's kind of a pain. And then you can put your spool up here. You know, probably not a bad little machine. So we'll see how it works, because I've got some Christmas fabric that I want to use, and I really want to make a Christmas project bag for myself. So yeah, set that aside for the moment, and then and here's the little itty bitty baby foot pedal. It's so cute and tiny. And the batteries, cool beans. The last thing, again, I will show you in a photograph, just because I don't want to walk all the way to the kitchen, show you, mess with it, blah, blah, blah. But I got myself an espresso machine. Woohoo! And again, that was something that I used that rebate card, because it was like $390. So yeah, I used that for things that I've been wanting for myself, but couldn't justify at the time. But now that I have that, I can treat myself. So yay! So I'm gonna show you that real quick. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. And for those of you who don't know, before I started my current job at San Diego Humane Society, one of the two jobs that I had was at Starbucks, and I was a barista there. And one of my favorite things was to do the latte art when I was on bar. So to be able to master that again has been so much fun to accomplish. Lately it's been kind of acting up. It's been pulling the shots a little too slowly, so I'm just gonna figure out what needs to be done. I kind of wonder if I'm tamping the espresso a little too hard. So we'll see, I'll figure that out, but otherwise it works really well. I love it, and I'm so excited. For those of you interested, for those of you who've been maybe looking for an espresso machine, I got the DeLonghi, and it's the 3630 model, I believe. I'll double check. And there we go, 930. And I had gotten that for myself with a prepaid card, because my mom and I got our new phones back in March, and there was a rebate program where we got this huge gift card. So that was one of the things that I wanted to get for myself. So to be able to do that and have money left over to enjoy things with, and that's pretty fun. That's pretty special. And excuse me, I think now we're kind of coming into live chatter, so excuse me again. I also have a couple of podcasty things that I want to that I want to share, kind of a pickup from episode 5, and want to kind of talk about some. Whoop, sorry guys. Kind of want to talk about another podcast that I've been enjoying lately, and this is just as I think of it, not in any particular order or anything like that. I'm not specifically choosing X, Y, or Z podcast for this. So before I get started on the one for this time, I want to mention a couple of things. I want to mention something that I didn't bring up before with Laura's Crocheting Hoovian podcast and with Melissa's Honeybee Knits podcast. Hi guys! And that is all the fun make-alongs that they have. I don't know why I didn't think of this this last episode, but oh my gosh, you guys, they have so many fun make-alongs to join in. And especially Laura, not to single her out, but she has a lot of make-alongs to join in. You name it, she probably does it. She does Tortoise versus Hare. And then there's also Creature Feature, which she usually co-hosts with Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal. She does all kinds of fun make-alongs, and it's not just knitting and crochet. You could do weaving. As long as you make it, it usually counts. So yeah, both of them have all kinds of fun things to look forward to as far as make-alongs. So I just wanted to share that. The podcast that I'd like to talk about right now is the Tea and Possibilities podcast. And the young lady that hosts it is named Nikki, and she is based in London. I believe West London. So she's been a lot of fun to watch. And one thing that I really enjoy about her podcast is not only does she do the crafty stuff, life chatter, all that, but she includes tea, which not sure how many of you know this about me, but I am a huge tea person. I love tea. I love coffee as well. That was my second love after tea. But to have that connection too, I really enjoyed. So yeah, I just wanted to mention her briefly as well. And of course, I'll post links in the description. And you'll also see the YouTuber's name in the captions below. All right, and then I had a new segment. I had the tips and tricks of the trade, or whatever it is. Again, I just haven't had a lot of time to plan anything out as far as that goes. So I think after Vlogmas, that'll pick up as normal. Then, yeah, that's pretty much it for live chatter, or for podcasty, crafty things. So I think now it's time for live chatter. So yeah, it's been really busy just with the move. I moved in kind of the last week in October. I was supposed to move in at the beginning of that month, but things happened. At this point, it's water under the bridge. Because I'm in now, everything looks great. My boyfriend Taylor helped me move, as well as my dad. My mom did all the decor, and it's really starting to feel like a home now. So I'm very happy. And then let's see, as far as this weekend was Thanksgiving weekend, and I had dinner I went to Thanksgiving dinner with Taylor's family. That was really fun. And then after that, we went to, we had another Thanksgiving meal at my uncle's house. And over there it was my uncle, his girlfriend. This is my mom's brother, by the way. My uncle, his girlfriend, and my older cousin Amanda was there too, which was a nice surprise. And then my uncle's girlfriend's daughter, I think one of her elder daughters was there as well. So that was good to see everybody. And it was nice to introduce Taylor to more of the family besides just mom and dad who set me up in the first place. And then yesterday, the two of us went with his parents to see A Christmas Story live. And it was not just Christmas Story live, but it was the musical, which was so much fun. It was at San Diego Musical Theater, and that's in downtown San Diego in the Gas Lamp area. If you're familiar with San Diego or have been there once or twice, you'll know the area. And oh my gosh, the production was phenomenal. It was really good. And I was already familiar with the musical from having seen it last year when Fox did their production, their live television production. And that one featured Maya Rudolph as the mother. Matthew Broderick was the narrator, aka Adult Ralphie. Yeah, it was a star-studded cast, but the cast for this production was fantastic. Oh my gosh, the kids were so talented, and the adults were great as well. So that it was just so much fun. And since A Christmas Story is his family's thing as well as mine, we all just had the best time ever. So that was really cool. That was really special. And it's kind of funny because his folks kind of invited me in order to get him to go, which he's glad that he did, because it was fantastic. We were busting our guts laughing, because it's one of those where even though you know the story, just the anticipation of the jokes, the anticipation of your favorite scenes, and there were slight differences in the dialogue, but there were differences that made it even funnier. And we went on opening night, and there were some funny moments where you're like, was that scripted, or was that maybe a slip? But it was just so, how many times can I say it was so well done? It was phenomenally acted and produced that it's like you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. I think there was one line where the mother calls Ralphie Randy, and then she pauses, puts her hands on her hips, rolls her eyes, and goes, "Ralphie." And and again, who's to say that it was a slip? I mean, it's such a total mom thing to do, especially when you have multiple kids in the family. It's such a normal thing of being a mom, and I hear this through friends and family members, that it just fit in so perfectly. And the delivery of the lines was great. And there were scenes where the kids would do tap dancing, and the skills that those kids had. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we had a fantastic time. Our stomachs were pretty sore by the end. Because again, it was just so great. So I've got my little keepsake playbill. Well, it's not really a playbill, it's the behind the curtain, but the little program. So that was fun. That was my weekend. And then, yeah, at this point, getting ready for Christmas. Again, stay tuned for Vlogmas. And that about wraps it up. So thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me. And we'll see you in a little bit for Vlogmas. Bye.